recently I realized I need more workout tops because all the ones I have are just a little bit too small for me and are definitely not bloat friendly. And if I'm making the brave decision to work out on my period, if I have to squeeze into a tight t-shirt, that might be the last straw for that day. Also, I'm a big believer in wearing cute clothes to the gym. And I mean, to be honest, I want to use my new machine some more. So today I decided that I'm going to thrift some athletic shirts and maybe flip them or alter them and kind of make them maybe more unique or fit me better. I'm not really sure since it depends on what I find at the thrift store. So let's go. Okay, I'm back from the thrift store and let me show you all the items I got. I don't know if I'm going to flip all of these. Actually, I know I'm not, but let me just do a quick haul. The first item that caught my eye, I might have actually overpaid for, but it's an Athleta top and this was the most expensive piece. It was actually $13, but this piece is in such good condition, and whenever I buy Athleta things from the thrift store, they always last me a long time. And honestly, I'm not sure that I'll actually alter this piece at all, but I did pick it up because I know I'll wear it regardless if I use it in this video or not. And then this next piece is this hoodie from Loft, and it's quite big actually, and it says it was $5, but actually all the green tag items were half off. I didn't know that, and so this was only $2.50, but I just thought the color was really nice, and it's 100% cotton and a pretty lightweight fabric, so I feel like this will be good as a cover up for the gym. And then this is an Athletic Works top. I think that's a Walmart brand. And again, it has a green tag, so it was actually only $2 despite the tag saying $4. I like the color. I don't really love the ruching detail on the side. Maybe I'll like it more when I try it on. But yeah, I kind of feel like I might want to crop this since it is a medium. That's right, it is a medium. But yeah, this is a traditional athletic top. And so hopefully I can do something with this. And actually at the thrift store today, their athletic section was really small. So I kind of moved on and I was looking at the men's t-shirts, trying to find just like 100% cotton t-shirt that I could cut up and kind of make into a workout top. Cotton doesn't have the moisture wicking benefits that a synthetic fiber would, but I do like wearing cotton when I'm going on walks just because it's a little bit more breathable. So I was able to find a cotton t-shirt. It's actually a polo Ralph Lauren shirt. So I kind of feel weirdly guilty about cutting this up, but the tag says $10 and it was actually $5. So I got really lucky, and that makes me feel a little less guilty for some reason. It's an XXL. So I have plenty of fabric to work with. I just want like a loose top to wear over my sports bra and leggings. So I think this will be perfect, and I love this color. Like, I think this color will look really good on me. So let me go ahead and wash all these items, and then I'll start making some sort of plan for the thrift flips and alterations. So this is the Athleta tee on. Kind of want to crop it, but at the same time, there is this grip thing at the bottom, and I just feel a little bit bad about cutting it. But I mean, overall, the quality of this shirt is really good. I really actually like it for just taking a walk. So I don't know if I'll get to this in this video, but actually I looked it up and this shirt is like $45, I think, even with a sale going on right now on Athleta. So I mean, even though this was kind of expensive for the thrift store, I am glad I bought it. Okay, next is this pink top, and I actually really like it. I think I do want to crop it though. The ruche detailing is actually making this very flattering for the bloat, but I still think I want to crop it just because I just think that'll be a little bit more my style. And there is ruching on the back, which I don't really like, but it's hard to get rid of it because I thought it was some kind of elastic that I could just undo, but it's actually like the way they sewed the seam together, they like gathered it. But maybe the ruching in the back gives me a little bit more air, like it brings the fabric away from my body or something. So I don't know. I don't hate the back ruching so much. Yeah, I think for this video, I just want to crop it. I really like the princess seams. I've mentioned on this channel that I love princess seams. I just think that's a nice touch. Okay, and for this Loft hoodie, I actually really like it. I really like this split hem detail. I kind of want to keep that, and I think I will also crop this a little bit. I don't know if I'll make it a true crop or just shorten it, because I have this idea that I want to use some extra fabric for pockets. So I need to get that fabric from somewhere, so I definitely need to shorten it. The sleeves are a little long, but I don't know if I mind that. Maybe I will fix that for the purposes of this video. But overall, really like the color. And this is actually an extra small, but it fits me kind of oversized. So that's actually good in this case because it gives me fabric to work with. And lastly, this polo shirt, which is the one I think I'm the most nervous about. I really like the color on me, but I'm just a little nervous about how oversized this is. Like, I don't know if I can get this to look good. So I keep pinning the Free People Inspire tee. So I kind of want to use that as like a reference point on how to make this work. Specifically, the sleeve detail is really interesting to me on that Inspire tee. The shape is like cut out like angular, which is it just makes an interesting shape. So I kind of want to give that a try. I'm a little nervous though because this is not something that I can make a muslin for. I just have to like cut it and do it. And I've talked about how cutting fabric makes me nervous on this channel. And I think it would be cool to remove the logo, honestly, but I don't know if I can do that. It's so tightly woven in there. So I feel like if I were to do that, it would cut the fabric, but at least it's laying in like a normal place because I was worried that it was gonna like lay like right here or something. So we'll see. Okay, there have been some developments. First, I kind of changed my mind on just cropping this shirt. Now I want to do a curved sort of like under bust line. So in order to do that, I want to use top stitching thread, and then that's where I got stuck. I didn't have any matching thread color, and that's important because every single other piece on this top has matching thread color. So I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get away with just doing white or something that's really obviously not matching. So I was able to go to Joann's and find some thread, not a serger spool, but this should work. So that's taken care of, sort of. That's started at least. And then for this hoodie, I realized that when I put it on to crop it, I'm not gonna have enough fabric for the pockets that I wanted to do. So I'm still gonna go ahead and crop it. And then this brown shirt, that one I haven't really looked at, so far so good. Honestly, my energy today is really low. I don't know if you can tell between this and the last clip, but I have lost all my natural light. It became really cloudy here, and that's really not helping my energy level. So I think for today, I'm just going to unpick the hem here and possibly the sleeves if I get to it, and we'll see. We'll go from there. There wasn't a lot of time left on this first day after my trip to Joann's for the thread, so all I ended up doing was seam ripping the hem and part of the side seam of this hoodie. Okay, I'm back. It's the next day, and honestly, I took a Pilates class this morning, so I feel very low energy right now, but today my goal is to basically cut up a bunch of things. So I want to cut up this periwinkle hoodie, crop it, and maybe I'll re-hem it today, but definitely want to cut it today. And then this pink shirt, I want to cut that under bust curved line, and I want to see if I can maintain the hem maybe and basically shorten the bottom piece so that it matches up with the midsection and it'll already be finished. I'm not sure. That also means that I will be keeping the ruching, which I said originally I didn't want the ruching, but yeah, I think I'm gonna see where it lays before I cut it and then make my decision from there. And I'm going back and forth on actually if I want to shorten the sleeves of this periwinkle hoodie, because when I shorten it, this side isn't gonna match with what the length is here. So I'm trying to figure out if it's worth the effort, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely crop this and then try it on and just see how I feel. I pinned the hem up on the hoodie and marked a cut line. Also, I did go ahead and press this a little bit before I did this, but I actually wanted to keep some of the impressions of the original hem to give me an idea on if I was cutting straight. I ended up taking 1.5 inches off the back and 3.5 inches off the front to make it more of a step hem. And then going back to the pink top, I marked my sew and cut lines and then cut that underbust line for the top portion. And then for the bottom portion, my chalk wasn't sticking to the fabric very well for the curved lines, so the easiest way that I could think of to get this to work was by first marking my sew line, and then I just moved my top portion up by 1/2 inch and cut along the edge to get the curves to match. Then I went ahead and pinned and basted this with my regular sewing machine just so I could make sure that all those seams lined up. As I mentioned before, I wasn't able to find a serger spool of this thread color, but I've seen some people just wind bobbins and use that as extra spools, and I thought that was a great idea, so I winded up some extra bobbins to use in my cover stitch machine. At this point, I had already completed my goal for the day, but I was feeling really motivated by my progress, so I continued working. Before sewing, I did press this seam down, and then I used my cover stitch to finish the inside seams, holding the seam down towards the hem of the shirt. The reason why I'm working on it this way is because I actually want the looper threads on the back to be the star of the show, so that it blends in with the flat lock seams in the rest of this top. And then for the loft hoodie, I pinned my hem up by 2¼ inches and pressed it in place. Then I used a narrow cover stitch to finish it off. You can still see the holes left by the thread, but I know they'll go away on their own in the wash, so I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, that wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was gonna be, because I was scared that the coffee would hit the clothes. So today, I got a latte and a dream. I think this is day 3 of me working on this, and I think today could be the day that I finish. Last night, I worked kind of late, and I did finish these 2 tops, and it went well. I messed up a little bit here on the side. I'm really impressed with how it turned out because I was doing a lot of curves, so I expected to mess up at least once, and I was thinking to myself, okay, if I mess up, maybe I'll undo it and do it again. But if you undo this kind of stitch and do it again, it really needs to be one solid line all the way through, and I don't think it's worth it to go back and redo this just for that one little mistake, because I'm gonna be the only one that wears this, I think. And it's on the back. If it was on the front, I think that'd be a little different. But anyway, so that one's done. And then I finished the hoodie. So if you're interested in how I finished this, I just folded the hem over so that the right sides were facing, and I sewed that down. And then I used my cover stitch machine to give me a nice clean finish. And for the bottom, where I had seam ripped some of that serging, I just stitched it down with a regular straight stitch. Knit fabric typically doesn't fray very easily, and I could have overlocked it and then stitched it, but honestly I think just regular stitch is fine. It's just such a small, it's like 1.5 inches. And I wanted to do more with this hoodie. I would have liked to find a bigger hoodie so that I could have more fabric to work with. This is literally the fabric that I cut off. It's like 2 strips. So there's nothing really I can do with this, or it'd be hard to find a use for it. I did want to put pockets in this one, if you remember from the beginning, but yeah, I just did not have enough fabric to do it. And I did contemplate using the extra fabric from the other top to do some sort of something with, but this other top is a synthetic. Yeah, it's 80% polyester and 20% cotton, so it's like mostly polyester. And I don't really like mixing natural and unnatural fibers in like an applique process like that. I mean, it works for some people, but yeah, this hoodie is 100% cotton, so I would have liked to have another 100% something to put on top of it. If I was gonna do some sort of pocket or something like that, I think that would feel better to me. But I mean, overall, I love the color. I love how it came out. So I am very happy with this one, don't get me wrong. And lastly, this brown shirt. I'm really excited to work on it. I drew up a little pattern on Illustrator and printed it out. I just assume this is how the sleeve is supposed to look. I'm not really sure. I'm excited to figure out how this one is gonna work out. I feel like the hardest part is gonna be the cutting, because I just wanna make sure everything lines up correctly. And then after that, I think it should be smooth sailing, just easy sewing. Okay, so as you can probably see back there, I got my iron out, and I ironed some of the wrinkles in this shirt just to kind of get everything along the seams so that when I cut it, I know that I am not cutting something in a wonky place. And now I'm just gonna lay it out, and I'm gonna pin along the hem again so that it's nice and straight. And I think I'm gonna cut the hem first, because after I cut the sleeves, I don't want to be maneuvering the fabric too much, because I don't want anything to stretch out. So yeah, Let me go ahead and be really meticulous while pinning this hem. So I did exactly that, and when I'm doing stuff like this, I like to pin just 2 layers of fabric first so I can really focus on getting those correct before folding the shirt over along the center front. I also pinned a little bit along the sleeves just to make sure that those were accounted for because I didn't want any weird lumps in the fabric to throw me off while cutting. To get a rough idea for my sleeve cut lines, I folded my sleeve pattern so that it would account for the seam allowance, and also I marked my cut line for the hem and double checked that my sleeve pattern would fit in that extra space. Everything looked good, so it was time to cut. After I cut my hemline, I immediately pinned my sleeve pattern on it before putting it aside because I just wanted to make sure that the fabric didn't move around too much. And then I cut along my sleeve cut line. Next, I cut out my sleeve, and actually the kind of cool thing about this oversized sleeve is that it used a lot of fabric, so I didn't have that much fabric wasted. And this is how it looks all laid out, and this is also when I started getting really excited by the shape. To sew this up, first I sewed the side seam of each of my sleeves together. And then to attach the sleeves to the body of the shirt, I found the easiest way to do this was to attach just the armpit portion first in a straight line and then sew the rest of the sleeve to the armhole. Since the sleeve has those corners, it would have been difficult to get all those angles right if I had done it all in one go like I typically would for a normal sleeve. So I just finished up sewing the sleeves to the body and it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. On the original Inspire tee, it's all raw edges, but I just honestly want to use this machine some more. So I am going to go for the cover stitch just to finish everything up. And one thing I'm noticing about the cover stitch is it's super key to press everything really well. So I'm going to pin up all my hems and press them, and then I'll cover stitch it all and it'll be done. I did go ahead and cover stitch along all my raw edges at the hem and the hem of my sleeve. Okay, so I'm basically done with the tee, but I was looking at some pictures of the Inspire tee that I'm inspired by, and I noticed that there's top stitching along the armhole. And I really like that detail actually. I think it really emphasizes the fact that this is a square armhole, which I'm really drawn to. That's the whole reason why I want to make this top, because that just seemed like such an odd armhole shape to me. And so I think what I'm going to try to do is do the top stitching on this machine because it'll be stretchy automatically, but I don't really know how this is going to go because I've never done this. Basically, I need to have each needle wide enough to where they can kind of straddle the seam. Let's see how it goes. This will really be the last step for real this time. But yeah, I'm really excited how it's coming out so far, so why not give it a go? Before starting this, I did press it so that the bulk of the seams would be facing towards the hem, and I just kept my fingers on the seams so they would stay in place while sewing. Okay, I just finished doing that top stitching, and it was a little tricky to get specifically the little corners clean, but I did my best. Funny enough, I feel like I did better on the back side of the shirt than the front. But yeah, I'm all done. I love how it looks. It still has that polo logo on it, but that's okay. As nervous as I was to do this project, I love how the shirt came out. And I think it's really cool that I have been looking at this Inspired tee and I pretty much nailed it. Like, it's perfect. I think this is an easy enough project for anyone to do if they thrift a shirt, and the Inspire tee looks really oversized, so as long as you get an oversized shirt, I feel like you could do this. Time for the reveal. Okay, so this is how the Athletic Works tee came out, and I really like it. It's the perfect length for me now. And I know I said in the beginning I didn't really like the ruching, but now I've grown to like it. I'm really glad I was able to maintain the hem shape because I do like that the back is a little bit longer. So there is that little mistake in the back where the seam kind of went askew, but I really don't mind it. And like I said, I don't think I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna keep it the way it is, and I'm gonna wear it and love it, mistakes and all. And here's that loft hoodie. I love the color. I think I already said that a couple times in this video. And I love the drape of it, and I only needed to shorten it just a little bit to fit me a little bit better. And I'm so glad I did, and I love this step hem detail that I added. And I didn't end up shortening the sleeves in this video, but I don't really mind having the sleeves be a little long, even if I don't roll them up and I just scrunch them up, because sometimes when I'm in public, I just like having the comfort of a long sleeve to like hold a door open and stuff like that. I also really like how the hoodie drapes. It kind of drapes away from my body, so if I'm bloated, it really doesn't make a difference. Okay, and lastly, this big Free People inspired t-shirt. I know this is not gonna be everyone's style, but this just makes me so happy to put on my body. I can't believe I really drafted that sleeve. That's crazy. Earlier in the video, I think I said that this would be easy for anyone to do with an oversized tee, and I still stand by that statement, but I will say the corners are the hardest part of this sleeve. So I think drafting a drop shoulder would be easier, especially since drop shoulders typically don't need to have the correct like sleeve cap ease, and they're just a little bit easier for a beginner to draft. And since it's so oversized, you really don't need to make that pattern be perfect. And I think the reason why this really excites me is because typically I don't go for such an oversized moment, because I'm always worried that I'm gonna feel like swallowed by the clothing because I have such a small frame. But something about this oversized tee with like leggings, like I'm so excited to wear this. I know I said a couple times in this video that I was feeling really low energy, but honestly, working on these pieces made me so happy. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.